Why, hello everyone, how are you doing this fine day? Hope you're enjoying your week. Welcome to another survival challenge, in particular, a Helldivers survival challenge. Yes, I am yet again standing here and filming another Helldivers survival challenge. I'm sorry that you guys overwhelmingly watch the Helldivers videos more than any other video on my channel. I'm sorry that you guys are giving me massive financial incentive to continuously make Helldivers videos. Made a Helldivers video last week, got over 40,000 views. Made a Black Dynamite video last week, got like 4,000 views. Big fucking guess which one I'm gonna make a sequel to. The one good thing about me being trapped in this Groundhog Day-esque Helldivers nightmare of continuously making the same shit over and over again to appease my dark capitalistic soul is that I don't actually have to go over anything in the Helldivers again. I've already done that. We should all be updated fully on what all the Helldivers are capable of, so I shouldn't have to go over any of it in this video. You should get the gist, right? I've talked about it enough. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that you've seen those videos. Here's some link to those videos where you can watch them if you're not sure. The basic gist of this challenge is simple. I'm gonna take a bunch of hunters, one at a time, probably groups. I'll probably do a group of predators. I don't know, we're not there yet. And I'm gonna throw them into Malevelon Creek and then put the normal 25 Helldivers that you usually have during any normal mission and chuck them at them and be like, can these hunters take out all these Helldivers, or can the Helldivers take out the hunters before? It's a hunter versus hunter situation going on here. Well, soldiers versus hunters. I don't think you can necessarily call the Helldivers hunters, kinda, sort of, in a manner of speaking. But these are like real hunters they're going up against. But not wasting up your time, let's get started. First up on the chopping block, we have the Predators. Now look guys, I have put the Predators in so many videos up to this point. I have had them be the challengers, I've had them be the challenge itself, and they have never once in any of my videos performed well. It's literally never happened. I think we just have to come to the conclusion that the Predators aren't all that. They're kind of shitty. I know people like the movies. I like the movies too. I like the Predator. Cool concept. I enjoy it as a series, but for the purposes of these challenges, they suck. They're freaking terrible. They're really, really bad. There is so much evidence throughout the Predator canon that these dudes are just not it. They are not that guy. I mean, just look at the movies. They've literally never succeeded in a single hunt across every Predator film that's ever come out. Not once. And oftentimes they'll go up against people who are not particularly skilled or well armed. In Predator 2, the Predator lost to a middle-aged cop. In Prey, he lost to a 20-year-old girl. They are constantly making stupid fucking decisions and getting themselves killed all the time. There are so many different examples. They are shown turning their back on clearly hostile enemies like an AVP. When Scar just walks away from that fucking old man because he saw that he had a heart condition, not even thinking about the possibility that old man might have a gun or something that could shoot him in the back of the fucking head. Lucky for him, he didn't. All he had was a flamethrower. But if he had like a shotgun in his jacket, Scar would be dead. What about the fact that they are constantly approaching and putting their hands on people who are very clearly armed, alive, conscious, and still dangerous? In Predators, one of these stupid motherfuckers just walks right up to a armed Russian, fucking KGB soldier, and grabs him by the neck to like do this slow choke out, I'm gonna fucking kill you with my bare hands bullshit. And the soldier ends up having an entire grenade belt tied to his chest, which he then pulled and blew the Predator up. We know the Predator had long range weapons. Why did he walk up to him like that? What was the purpose in that? You can't even argue that he wasn't aware that the soldier had grenades. For one, he's a soldier. He probably has grenades. But also, those Predators captured these humans on Earth, delivered them to the planet, and sent them on the planet with their weapons. You're telling me he didn't know what weapons these guys had? He literally sent them to the planet with those weapons. He didn't even take a peek to see what they were armed with. They were fully stocked. In that same movie, there's a scene where a different Predator shoots this dude in the back with a plasma caster. He flies onto the ground, and the Predator just assumes he's dead and does not confirm his kill, then goes off to continue fighting the other humans. The dude was still alive because he was wearing body armor, and then he got up, jumped on the Predator's back, and started shanking the shit out of him with a little knife. Why did the Predator not confirm the kill? Why did he just shoot him and assume he's dead? This is all basic shit. You and I and other non-trained soldiers, just regular people, would know better than to approach and try to kill a dude with your bare hands who is very clearly armed and a trained soldier. We know better than to just leave a dude alive without checking to see if he's fucking dead. This is common sense shit, and the Predators don't do it. In Prey, the Predator fucking stupidly kills himself. He has his helmet with a little red laser sight on it, and basically throughout the whole movie, he points that red laser sight at something, and then he shoots this spear, this little, it's kind of like Yondu's little fucking arrow thing, and a little arrow spear thing flies and hits wherever that red target is pointing at. At the end of the movie, he's got the girl dead to rights. She's unarmed, and she's right in front of him, and all he has to do is go kill her. He can kill her any number of ways. He knows for a fact she is unarmed and defenseless, and he decides to shoot the little spear despite the fact that he doesn't have his helmet on him. He knows he doesn't have his helmet on him, so he doesn't have the little red light. He has no idea where his helmet is. It was taken from him by the girl earlier in the same fight. He shoots his little spear thing aimed at the chick despite the fact that he doesn't know where his helmet is or where that little red laser is currently pointed. He knows for a 100% fact it's not pointed at the chick. He still decides to use this weapon anyway. Real genius we got here. The spear then misses the chick and starts wrapping around. He then just looks at it flying around being like, huh, that's odd. Where's it going? He looks over to his right and he sees his helmet pointing his red laser at his forehead. And then he's like, huh, that's interesting. Look at that. And then the fucking spear shoots him in the face. And we're supposed to look at this as if this was some clever thing where, oh yeah, this chick outsmarted the Predator. But no, she didn't. The Predator had to make several incredibly retarded decisions back to back to back in order to make this kill possible. This dude committed suicide. She had very little to do with it. This is the case throughout basically every single Predator movie that has ever come out, even the good ones. In the original Predator movie, you have a bunch of supposed jungle fighters fighting against the jungle Predator, and throughout the whole movie, at no point do any of these master jungle fighters decide to use any form of stealth against the Predator. It's not until the end of the movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger is finally like, hey, let me put some dirt on my skin to try and hide myself from the Predator, and it fucking works. That's when he starts fucking up the Predator. And the movie sells it as something that Dutch does because he finally realizes that the Predator sees heat signatures and the dirt will cover up his heat signature. But when it comes to jungle fighting, covering yourself in mud and dirt to camouflage yourself with your environment is a very common tactic to stay hidden from your enemies, and no one even attempts to do it before that. Not until the end of the movie. If these jungle fighters were actually really good, they would have came together and did that at the beginning just to try using some form of stealth against something that was hunting them. Again, they don't do anything to try and hide from the Predator. Nothing. At no point. It's basically them just walking through the woods getting picked off one by one as the movie goes on. They don't use any form of stealth in this film. Very, very strange for trained jungle fighters. I will say this though, I just thought of something very funny. Okay, imagine that at the beginning of the movie, they did decide to start covering themselves in dirt like a normal fucking jungle fighter would, right? But they would only do it for the white people because black people don't have reason to cover their skin in dirt. If they cover themselves with dirt before they realize that the Predator sees in heat vision, they won't put dirt on the black people because they don't know about the heat vision. It would just be a visual thing. They're trying to hide themselves visually. This means all the white people and the Native American person would all be covered in dirt and be concealed from the heat vision of the Predator, but none of the black people would. Which means when Dutch looks at all of his men, is like, all right, let's go fuck up this Predator, and they leave, the Predator is then gonna start killing all the black people. And the white people aren't gonna have any idea why they're being completely ignored. They're just gonna sit there thinking that this is a super fucking racist Predator. They're gonna leave the island or wherever they're at, get on the chopper, go back to their superiors and report that they met a super racist alien that just kills black people and leaves white people alone. Dutch is gonna be standing there so confused being like, oh my god, black people cannot get a break. They're not even safe in space. Oh man, that's funny. Think of it like that. It's probably best if they didn't try the dirt thing before they waited till the end, because that would have been a very different movie. But yeah, overall, if you take the Predators, it really doesn't matter what Predator, and you throw them in here to have to hunt and take out all of the Helldivers, they're gonna get fucking brutalized. They get brutalized by normal dudes with normal guns. The Predators have technology that allows them to see camouflage. They have scanning technology that allows them to see the stealth Terminids, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to use it to see the stealth Predators. Without the camouflage, the Predators aren't shown to have any stealth abilities. In every single movie that we see where they lose their camo, they just run up and start start brutalizing people, and the people are just like fighting them openly. They don't even attempt stealth without the camo. Not once in any movie does that happen. And it's even arguable whether or not the Predators are physically stronger than the Helldivers or have more advanced technology. The plasma caster, for the most part, is like the most advanced weapon that we've seen them have, and Helldivers have literally the exact same thing and armor that defends against plasma attacks. Predators' bladed weapons are canonically made out of much harder materials than normal metal and is sharper than normal metal, but it's not like it's so sharp that it just completely negates durability. We've seen people with normal metal weapons defend against their bladed weapons. In Predators, we see a dude using a regular earth katana to sword fight a Predator, and it's not like his blade just instantly sliced through the katana. They were still clanking and like competing with each other, so it's not a fucking inhuman level of advanced fucking sword tech. This goes with their armor as well. There isn't a single weapon that the Helldivers have that won't fire through Predator armor, yet there is armor that the Helldivers have that the Predator weapons won't necessarily be able to get through. You also have the fact that Helldivers have better healing technology. They are genetically enhanced to be physically stronger than normal humans, even so much so that they can melee fight fucking robots and break them into pieces with their fists, which is something I don't even think most of the Predators can do. There just isn't a whole lot the Predators can do here. They're not very smart. They make very stupid decisions. They get themselves killed constantly. They don't have as much firepower as the Helldivers. They're going to be outnumbered in this scenario. Even if I want to give them like the 3 Predators that existed in Predators and not just one, the 3 Predators that existed in Predators died by 8 fucking regular dudes with modern weapons. The Helldivers are way more impressive than that. The Predators straight up cannot win here. It's as close to not being possible as humanly possible. That was poorly worded. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and join the membership. Remember, join the membership. I don't know. I'll send you something. What do you want? You want something? A beautiful blonde with big tits and an ass tastes like French vanilla ice cream? Okay, I'll send you one, but you gotta do all of them. All of them. Not just like and all. You gotta like, subscribe, comment, share, the whole shebang. Every single one. No half-assing it now. Also, I recently joined the Amazon affiliate program, which is basically like I advertise things to you, and then you go click on the links and buy them, and then I get like a little bit of the thing, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of fun doing it, but I'd really like to open up my own sort of online market for the channel. What do you guys want? Like, what would you want to purchase in an online store? You want me to just do, like, basic shit like shirts and fucking, I don't know, hats and stuff? Just, it sounds a little boring to me. I don't know. Maybe that, but I'll have to look into it. But let me, give me some ideas of things that you would actually want to purchase from this store if I actually opened up my own market, as opposed to being a shill for Amazon. I mean, don't get me wrong, as long as they're, you know, paying me, I don't mind being a shill for Amazon. But it would be really cool to have my own store, so I don't have to be a shill for Amazon. That'd be cool. Let me know what you guys want, because I'm starting to look into it a little bit more, and I'm trying to explore like what that would look like if I actually did it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's for another time. Let's get back to the video. Next up, we have Aloy from the Horizon series. In many ways, Aloy has a lot of similarities to the Predators. They both have camo technology. They're both stealth hunters. They both have medicine and survival skills, but in basically every way other than all the shit that would just make you a hunter, just make you, you know, barely qualify for a hunter, Aloy is superior to a Predator. For one, Aloy actually makes traps. Oh my god, a hunter that actually makes traps. How are you a hunter, Predator? How do you call yourself a hunter if you don't make traps? Like 99.9% of Predators are shown not making traps. I can't think of a single time in any of the movies where a Predator actually makes a trap. Once in Predators, they set up for an ambush. They kill one of the dudes and set him up sitting in the middle of the forest with a recording that has him constantly yelling help over and over again to try and lure all the other soldiers in. One, it's unbelievably obvious what they're doing. That's like soldiering 101 to know that they're trying to lure you in. Anyone who's seen Full Metal Jacket knows of that tactic, so it's not like it's a particularly advanced tactic. But even then, that's not a trap. That's a lure for an ambush, but there's no trap there when the soldiers eventually do arrive. There's nothing that the Predator doesn't have to physically be there for in order to activate. There's no, like, you know, hole with fucking leaves over it that if you step on, you fall into a spike pit, or a giant log that swings out of nowhere and smacks you into a tree. Nothing like that. The Predator doesn't do anything like that. Super weird. They always wanted to, like, show up and fucking box with the hunters that they're fighting against instead of doing hunter tactics to overcome them. It's weird. It never feels like they're a hunter going after prey. It feels like they're just fucking assholes who stole stealth technology and decided to try and murder a bunch of hunters who then always get out hunted. They're not good, guys. They're not good. But Aloy actually has traps. She is capable of using the environment around her to craft and build things that she can then use as weapons against her enemies by doing things things like setting up traps that explode or tripwires or whatever. She has that knowledge and that ability. That's something that neither the Predators or the Helldivers are capable of doing. She also has stealth technology. She also has an energy shield that defends against a couple of attacks. She's also far more mobile than any of the Helldivers or the Predator, as she's capable of climbing and jumping and flipping, and she's just very fast and agile in a way that nobody else on this list so far has been. Outside of that, though, she doesn't really have anything that's going to help her here. Her weapons are super underpowered when compared to the Helldivers, and it's arguable if most of them will even do all that much damage. The entire gameplay of Horizon has Aloy making weapons that are specifically designed to pop the armor off of the machines that she fights against so that she can then attack their chewy center and actually do damage. None of her weapons actually just straight up go through and destroy the armor of these machines. And the machines themselves are specifically stated that they were not built for war, but they were built for environmental purposes, so it's not even like they're set up like tanks or anything. The reason why she's capable of damaging and destroying them with like basic fucking arrows is because of that. If they were actually built like giant tech machines, she'd be completely fucked. She wouldn't be able to do anything. It's arguable whether or not her arrows would even be able to pierce through Helldiver armor. If it can't go through the armor of the machines, and it makes sense that it couldn't because it's an arrow, it doesn't matter what the arrowhead is made out of. I've heard people say that the arrow is made out of the same technology as the machines. Therefore, she should be able to shoot the arrow through harder stuff because it's still an arrow. It's still only traveling at arrow speeds with arrow force. Sure, it'll hit a little bit harder, but not enough to pierce titanium alloy. It's an arrow. Regardless of what it's made out of, it doesn't have the force necessary to break through. You're not killing a Helldiver with an arrow. She does have some weapons that will be able to damage and harm the Helldivers, but none of it is anything that's more powerful than what the Helldivers have. And all of her weapons require a ton of resources that she can't hold that much of, and once it's gone, she won't really have a way to replenish it unless she has to go hunt more machines, which the Helldivers can then take advantage of by just killing her while she's trying to hunt machines to gain more supplies. By comparison, the Helldivers can just call down a resupply pod whenever they run out, and they don't have to jump through all the hoops that she would have to jump to for the same reason. You also have the fact that while they both have scanning technology, the Helldiver scanning technology is significantly better than Aloy's scanning technology. Her scanning technology goes like, I don't know what, 30, 40 feet maybe, whereas the Helldiver's technology goes like 200 meters. It's way bigger distance, which means the Helldiver's going to be aware of Aloy's location before Aloy is aware of their location, and Aloy has no tracking abilities at all outside of her scanning. Her father was kind of sort of wanting to teach her how to hunt, but she hasn't had to actually do it because when she was a little girl, she found a scanning thing that allows her to scan her environment and follow tracks that way. So she never actually had to learn how to legitimately hunt things without the use of the scanner, which generally just makes her a worse hunter overall. If the technology isn't as useful as the Helldiver's technology, she's not a better hunter than the Helldivers are. They will find her and be able to attack her before the other way around. Their weapons are more damaging. They're arguably just as physically strong, if not more physically strong than she is. And really the only thing she has going for her is her mobility, which absolutely will not be enough to have her survive here. Now, I know some people are probably going to argue that she's way stronger than the Helldivers because in game she can melee fight all the machines, and she can get hit by attacks from the absolute largest machines that are shown bashing through giant boulders and buildings and all kinds of crazy shit, and she can get hit by that and not be affected. I would actually argue that the gameplay in Horizon is not canon, as in the actual story of the game, she's just shown to be a regular human being by, game standards. She still has way higher stamina than any human could possibly have, and she's still capable of fighting against these machines who normally she probably wouldn't even be able to hurt with that spear. So there's definitely very clearly an enhancement here, but there's no evidence that in actual story and lore, she can take being hit by a giant 5-foot wide buzzsaw to the face and survive. I've said this before, I'll say this again. In 99% of games, health bars are not canon. They are game mechanics. So trying to compare her durability to all the shit you can survive in game doesn't make any sense. And even if you want to use gameplay as canon and say that she's this strong because she could fight against all the machines, the Helldivers can now survive being crushed by the Hive Lord, which is considerably larger, heavier, and more powerful than any machine that exists in Horizon. So it wouldn't matter either way. The Helldivers would still be more durable, they would still be stronger, they would still have better weapons, they would still have better scanning tech, they would still have an easier way to replenish supplies. They are better in basically every way except for mobility. That's not enough. Next up on the list, we have John Rambo. And I know people are gonna say, Rouga, you're just wanking Rambo again, you're just putting Rambo really high on the list because you love Rambo. Stop it, this is stupid. Rambo is absolutely not beating Aloy. I didn't say he's beating Aloy. That's not my point. He's not higher because I think he's stronger or faster or physically better or more skilled or any of that shit. Listen to the video before you start making judgments, okay? The reason why Rambo is above Aloy is because his specific tactics are more valuable in this situation than Aloy's tactics will be. For example, while it is true that Aloy does have the ability to make traps, she is never once in the entire series shown to make a trap and then just leave and let her trap hit the person she's trying to hit without her having to be there. She utilizes traps along with her fighting skills in order to overcome her opponent. It's a combination of traps and her. This is going to make her traps less useful because of Helldivers' scanning equipment. Many times throughout the Rambo movies is shown setting up a trap and then just fucking off, like literally being a mile away. It doesn't have to be there at all, doesn't have to in any way see his trap go off or support his trap by fighting or anything like that. He just sets it and he leaves and he knows that trap is good and it's gonna fucking go off and it's gonna kill whatever he needs to kill. This is very clearly shown in the first Rambo movie, First Blood, but is also shown in other movies like Rambo 4, where he sets up C4 next to a nuke and just leaves, and then he just waits for someone to show up and set the goddamn nuke off and it blows up a whole section of forest. He does this all the time. He literally built an entire cave system underneath his house. Massive, miles-long cave system with just, hundreds, thousands of traps just sprinkled all across the cave system that he didn't have to be near. And then when they all came in, they just started blowing themselves up and killing themselves, and he didn't even really have to do anything. I mean, he did. There were some traps that he did himself, but I think more so that was for the safety of the people he was living with, because he was literally living with a high school girl, and it wouldn't have been cool if she went down in the tunnels and started running into a bunch of fucking traps that got her killed. But my point is, opposite what I've said before, where like Predator never shows up and just makes a bunch of traps that people can hit and fucking die, Rambo can. He does all the time. And unlike Aloy, whose traps specifically require the use of machine parts that exist within her universe, Rambo can make traps out of basically anything. You put him in a forest or the desert or an urban environment, he will be able to find something to make traps out of to kill his opponents. And the fact that it's not his style to be there when the traps go off means that Helldivers' scanning technology won't be as useful to them as it would have been against someone like Aloy or the Predator. That's it. That's really the only reason why he's above. Because of that, I think he probably has the best chance of surviving the longest, but there are still issues. While it is true that he can make traps out of anything that he finds in his vicinity, unlike Aloy, who literally all of her traps require something from machines, she can't make a single trap in this game just by using like tree branches and shit. The fact that Rambo does just use shit from the forest means that it's very possible his traps aren't going to be that effective. If he does make that whole hole with a bunch of spikes in it and put leaves over it and shit, and a Helldiver falls in a hole, will it even pierce the titanium armor, or will the wooden spears just break against the armor? My guess is the wooden spears would just break against the armor. Most of his traps would be more or less ineffective. He's going to have to specifically build traps that can get through the armor, or at least completely avoid the armor in some way. And as I already said in the Aloy section, we actually do have Helldivers that are capable of being fucking crushed completely by Hive Lords and surviving, which means it's also very possible that even if he could somehow pierce the armor, or even if he could somehow damage them in some way, it wouldn't actually be enough to kill them. And then they can instantly stem themselves and heal right back up. The healing technology of Helldivers is insanely good. It completely puts broken bones back together and stops massive bleeding and hemorrhaging and concussions and cracked skulls. It just heals it all back to 100%. Even if they do get caught in Rambo's traps and a Rambo trap goes off and they do get damaged, if they don't die instantly and they get off the trap and then hit themselves with a stem, they're right back up to fighting shape. They'll be fine. These traps will not only have to wound them, but they will have to completely immobilize them so they can't get up, they can't get away from the trap, and they can't heal themselves, and they'll be trapped permanently. And then once they're trapped permanently, or at least permanently, you know, as far as it matters for Rambo to actually do some damage to them, he can then show up and fucking shoot them or shoot an arrow at them or blow them up or some shit. One thing that I didn't think of in the past section that I think would actually work if they could think of it is basically if they can take out one Helldiver, and this could work for Rambo, Aloy, or the Predator. If they can take out one Helldiver and then take the suit of a Helldiver, or take specifically like the wrist thing off the Helldiver that shows the radar and then wear all that shit, would that then trick the radar into thinking that he himself is a Helldiver, and then all the other Helldivers would look at their radar and not see an enemy, but see an ally there because he's dressed up as a Helldiver and he looks like a Where is the fucking thing that tells you that that's a Helldiver, not an enemy? Is it in the blood? Is it like a shot? Or is it in the armor? Or is it in the little wrist thing that they have that has the radar in the first place? That would depend, because they might be able to trick it if that's the case. I'm not gonna say whether or not that would work, but it's something to think about. Maybe they could temporarily like trick a Helldiver by dressing up as a dead Helldiver. But even then, the Helldivers always know when the people die, because they all get the stratagem thing. So if you kill a Helldiver and start taking their clothes off, the other Helldivers instantly know that one of the Helldivers died, even if they're on the other side of the map. And they call down another Helldiver. Now there's gonna be 5 Helldivers on the field. So no, this probably wouldn't work. I don't think this would work. They need to confirm exactly how Helldivers know who on the map is red and who on the map is like a friend. In most games, you don't have to do this because oftentimes the map isn't canonical, but in Helldivers, the map is canonical. So I'd like to know how it works. I don't know. Maybe we already know this. Let me know if you have theories or if they've said it at some point. But this could be interesting. Maybe there could be a way to like trick the radar. But overall, I do think that Rambo has the best chance here simply because of his style of not having to actually go near the opponent to kill them, which is something that the other two are never shown to actually do. But there's also the obvious point that he is the physically weakest on this list with the least powerful weapons. So he's still like mostly outmatched. It's just, will his tactics be able to overcome that outmatchedness? Does that make sense? That was poorly worded. Last up, but certainly not least, we have Zero from the Borderlands series. That's right, everybody. Borderlands 4 came out, so you're going to start seeing a lot of Borderlands stuff. Probably not as much as you saw Helldiver stuff, but there's definitely going to be some Borderlands stuff. I mean, I'm not going to not do that. I mean, come on. Who do you think you're talking to? Now, I should say that while I am playing Borderlands 4, I have not completed Borderlands 4, so I don't actually know if Zero shows up in Borderlands 4. I'm assuming not, but if he does, I'm not going to touch on it here because I don't know that yet. So I'm only using the version of Zero that we see before Borderlands 4, which would be up to the new Tales of the Borderlands. Is that what that was called? Yeah, that in previous. That's it. Having said that, it doesn't really matter if Zero's going to be in Borderlands 4 or not, unless he like shows up with fucking cancer and crippled or something. Because he's going to fuck up these Helldivers. It's going to be sad. It's going to be really bad. Okay, so before I get into it, little bit of a caveat. There's a very common belief that all the Vault Hunters are of equivalent levels of strength and power, and because of this, when people talk about the power levels of Vault Hunters within the Borderlands universe, they always compare him to Lilith, no matter who it is, whether it's Axton or Brick or Zero or whoever. It's always got to be compared specifically to Lilith. Oh, Lilith fucking blew up an entire town? That means Zero can blow up an entire town. No, the games make it very clear that the Sirens are the most powerful force in the entire universe, second only to maybe some of the Vault monsters. You literally have Sirens in this story being able to move celestial bodies and nearly blow them up. That is not comparable to someone like Krieg, who is a guy with a stick who duct taped a buzzsaw to it. They are not comparable in any way. So please, for the love of God, do not go down in the comments and tell me that Zero is this strong because Lilith is this strong. I don't care. Not even all Sirens are of the same level of power. Lilith is exceptional even among other Sirens. So it's a really weird claim to make. These characters are not all equivalent. But Zero is still far more powerful than any Helldiver by a massive, massive margin. While it is true that a lot of his technology isn't going to work, specifically his camouflage and hologram tech, because again, their scanners are going to see right through it. But that doesn't matter at all because Zero is just so far beyond them in power, he won't even really need stealth tech. His shielding technology is significantly better than anything Helldivers has. Significantly better. His weapons are so far beyond Helldivers' weapons in terms of power, there's not even any point of comparison to make. In order for a Helldiver to take out a Hive Lord, it generally takes an entire team constantly shooting at it while throwing a bunch of thermites, while using a bunch of orbital strikes, using nukes and everything else to finally take this fucking bitch down. It takes a lot. It takes like all their ordinances to just take one of these motherfuckers down. Zero has been able to fight kaiju more or less by himself with just like a couple shots from his gun. They're just so far beyond. The basic bitch people that you have to fight in Borderlands 2 with Zero are the loader bots. And the loader bots have better feats than the fucking Helldivers mechs that they get into. And the Helldivers mechs are like the big boy shit that like, oh shit, the fuck, they brought the mech out. He's gonna fucking start slaughtering some shit. The loader bots are arguably more powerful and more durable, and Zero can just go around one-shotting a whole army of them by himself. Warrior, the giant kaiju that Zero fights fights at the end of the game is significantly more powerful than any Hive Lord that exists within the Helldivers universe. And while, yes, it's true, Zero did not beat it by himself, canonically, he beat it with the help of 5 other people. This would be the Vault Hunters from the base game, as well as Krieg and Gage. Canonically, all 6 of them came together to fight the Warrior and defeat it. That's true, but Warrior was a force so powerful that it was capable of wiping all life from the planet. It was a planet destroying, maybe not like destroy the planet like the whole sphere, you know, but like the surface. It was able to wipe the surface of life. It was believed that there was nothing on the planet that could possibly fight against Warrior, and these 6 dudes were capable of killing him with guns. Zero at one point with a single slash of his sword was able to cut a fucking car in half very casually. He's just on a totally different level of power than a Helldiver is. He's faster. It's arguable if their guns will even be able to get through his shielding. Even if it does get through his shielding, it's possible for his shielding to have certain effects where they take damage from their own attacks to him, which will automatically kill them with their own fucking shots. It's basically impossible for him to ever run out of ammo. His shielding has the ability that if they shoot him with a bullet, the bullet will then be picked up by the shielding, converted into the proper caliber, and then put into his gun, so he would essentially never run out of ammunition. His guns have several different damage types, many of which don't exist in the Helldiver universe, including slag, which is some bullshit made-up element that has the ability to weaken people and make them less durable so that you can then deal more damage with other attacks. Meaning that even if he wasn't strong enough to get through the titanium alloy armor, which he is, guns can absolutely shoot through metal in this game. They've literally fought giant Titan-sized robots. He would be able to actually weaken their armor with the slag in order to shoot through it. The point is, he's way more powerful. Way more powerful. He should be able to just stand there and run up to all the Helldivers and just outshoot them. Their bullets won't get through his shield, at least not in a time that they would need to actually get through his shield. And he would essentially one-shot all of them, even going through their shields. So yeah, Zero gonna fuck them up, dude. I shouldn't have put him in here. This wasn't. It was between him and Flak, and I already used Flak, but it doesn't matter because they both fuck him up, you know. Maybe we can have a Zero Flak team up where they just go up against like 24 Helldivers. I mean, it'll be a slaughter, but it'd be fun to watch. Also, now that Zero has been able to take on 24 Helldivers, that is yet another character that we can add to the list of people who are stronger than a Space Marine. So yeah, sit with that, Warhammer fans. But that's gonna be all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, try and check out one of these other videos. There should be 4 videos all around the screen right now. It's crazy, it's like magic. I just fucking snap my fingers, boom, here it is. Click on one of those because the algorithm really likes it when you do that for some reason. Like, it's not cool if you just like scroll down and click one of my videos. They want you to specifically click one of these 4. You gotta feed the algorithm. No, we want you to do it like this. You don't enjoy YouTube the way you want, you enjoy it the way we want. Or fuck you. That's YouTube, that's what they're saying. But you know, I really appreciate it if you clicked on it. Thank you. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there, you hear?